If you look at all his knockouts. When he first started in the beginning, it was in the early rounds. As he started moving up in competition, what happens is in the later round.
Break, don't punch, don't punch, don't punch. Hold up. Break.
Welcome to another episode of the Clinch Review. Let's get right into it. Gervonta Davis stops Hector Garcia after 8 rounds, non-officially. Not a bad card to start the year from Showtime, at least on paper anyway. But in regards to the fight, it went about the way I expected. Hector Garcia was a real threat, but once again, the power of Davis was the game changer, and I do mean game changer. Up until the end of the 8th, it was a nip-and-tuck fight. Both fighters showed respect, and rightfully so. Garcia has a sneaky left hand. We saw him put it to use against Colbert, catching him again and again, and we all know what Gervonta Davis is capable of, right? Garcia, with his extensive amateur background, was surprisingly able to stand right in front of Davis and remain relatively unscathed, surprisingly, up until the end. He did some good body work throughout the fight, something nobody's really been able to do. So credit to him for that. It did seem to genuinely give Davis at times, give him problems at times. You would see him switch from the high guard to the shell to defend better against the shots. But speaking of the high guard, that leads me to the main idea of the video. Davis uses the high guard, especially over the past few fights to look for those big shots. He fights to his strength, which is the power. But here's the main idea. I believe we are seeing Gervonta Davis settle in on a new boxing identity, a sniper, or in more common boxing terms, more politically correct terms, a pure counterpuncher. Check this out. Check out the punch stats from his fight against Garcia, right? So we got punches thrown, not landed, but thrown, right? So check out the punches thrown. Garcia's punches thrown compared to Davis's punches thrown, right? We got 17 to 15. We got 25 to 24. We got 39 to 23. We got 50 to 35. We got 52 to 32. We got 54 to 35. We got 53 to 29. And even in the last round, where Davis was able to stop Garcia, we got 55 to 46. Every single round, Garcia out threw Gervonta Davis, right? But check this out. As per usual, Gervonta Davis started conservatively. In the first 3 rounds, he landed a total of 9 punches against Hector Luis Garcia. 9 punches. Right. And my personal theory against that is if you're throwing that few punches in the first couple rounds, I think it's for one of 2 reasons. One, you're in there with somebody who's making you pay, or you think they'll make you pay. So you keep your hands at home. Your output is dropping, or you're setting something up. You know what you want to do and you're committed to it. You're sticking to it. Right. You're giving up the early rounds. You're sticking to your plan. And I think it's safe to say that was Gervonta Davis's plan, to wait until he saw the punch or the opening that he wanted and let his hands go. And when he lets his hands go, we know what's gonna happen, right? All right, so this is one fight, big deal. But check this out.
But wait, there's more. Hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer.
Punch stats for his fight against Rolly Romero. We got punches thrown. Davis, we got 18 to 18, so they threw the same number in that round. We got 16 to 18, 16 to 15, 18 to 22, and 10 to 18. So even in his previous fight, he still was outthrown by his opponent. Again, looking for that one shot, and we know what happened in that fight. Davis, stayed on the outside and landed one punch. That's all it took. And I think we're seeing Davis, fight to their strength. He's not as busy. He uses the high guard to try to, safely assess his opponent, until he sees what he's looking for. And I think this will work out very well at his current weight, 130, 135. He had the fight against Barrios at 140. That was a tough fight. And it was a tough fight, because Barrios is a bigger fighter, and as Tank moves up, that's what he'll see, especially with him, being, 5'5", 5'4", somewhere around that, around that measurable. But take a look at the guys at 147, pretty much the average height. We got Terrence Crawford at 5'8", Errol Spence at 5'9.5", you can say right at 5'10". We got Boots Ennis at 5'10" as well. So most of these guys, as you move up, especially to welterweight, he's going to give up quite a few inches height-wise and really overall size-wise as well. And I think that may become a problem, moving up and finding the more talented guys. I think that's what we're seeing with Teofimo Lopez, dynamite in his hands. A power puncher can punch with the best of them, but he's not seeing the results that he saw with the lower weights. And I think it's because his style hasn't changed. He's still doing the same things that he was doing, but he's not getting that result. And I think, if Gervonta doesn't reinvent himself, I think he could have similar problems. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think Gervonta Davis' style will allow him to have the same success as he moves to higher weights? Or do you think he'll once again have to come up with something different? As always, appreciate you for checking out the Clinch Review. Talk to you later. Peace.